For the third race of the 2025 DeWalt Cup Series season, we head to the Phoenix Raceway in Avondale, Arizona. For these 42 drivers, it's the first test of the season on a track like this, and we'll see which driver and team prevails after 63 laps on this 1-mile oval. It's time for the Lenovo 500 on JRTV. Glad to have everyone here for the broadcast of the third race of the DeWalt Cup Series season. I'm Joe Rutkowski, Trey Bart alongside me in the booth. Trey, great to be here in Phoenix, Arizona, ready to do battle around this 1-mile racetrack. What a unique track we have here, though, right? It's paved all around. There's no grass here. These drivers can race on every inch of this track if they want to.
It's a very wide short track, Joe. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, I would say so. It's a long short track too, right? It's a mile long, so it's technically not a short track. The game characterizes it as a short track, though. It has short track characteristics, so that's where the short track ratings start to come into play for these drivers. First points race of the season for that. So, Trey, we've seen a super speedway so far. We've seen a 1.5 mile intermediate. Now we're here at a short track. We kind of got a taste of this at Myrtle Beach for the shootout, but that wasn't all 42 drivers. So do you think it'll be something like the shootout where we saw EK Enterprises really dominate that one, or will we see some new faces here now that we have a full field of 42?
I honestly don't know, because we've had enough time, from the shootout to now that, these owners and drivers can definitely have thrown stuff towards, the short track setting. So I think it's going to be something different. But again, it could be the same team showing up and showing out here today, but it could be something totally different.
Well, speaking of teams that have showed up today, all three cars from this team are starting inside the top 11. That's Vision Motorsports, winner last time out at Las Vegas. Bryce Egan got to victory lane last week, but here today they have Max Davis starting in 4th, Matt Tuck starting in 7th, Bryce Egan starting in 11th. So those three cars look fast around this 1-mile racetrack, but also don't count out the EK Enterprises cars, the guys that dominated at the short track in Myrtle Beach. While they're not starting as impressively, you have Sprotube in 10th, you have Zidell in 13th, you have Crown Jr. in 15th. So trade the 6 Fords, right? These are the only 2 Ford teams. Those 6 Ford cars, all 6 of them are starting inside the top 15 today.
Yeah, so that shows you that they're pretty strong here. So we'll have to see what they have for today. It's in Phoenix, Joe. We know this gets hot and it's very dry. So we'll have to see if that plays any sort of effect on the race as well.
Yes, we will. And I'd also watch for Otter Island Motorsports. They have 2 cars starting up inside the top 6, and that team has led the most laps in both the first 2 races. Nathan Stimpton led the most laps in Daytona. Laura Chung led the most laps at Las Vegas. Somehow, some way, that team still doesn't have a top 10 finish among any of their drivers. So I'd watch for Otter Island Motorsports. They were fast the first 2 weeks. They have 2 cars starting inside the top 6 here today, and I think they could be fast here today as well at Phoenix. As we'll take a look at our top 5 and meet the top 5 starters and the teams they drive for. And starting on pole, a team that really hasn't had the best of starts of the season so far. Jack Haas for Galway Automotive put his number 23 on pole position, and we'll see if he can keep that track position. Obviously, he was up in the booth with us watching the short track race at Myrtle Beach for the Budweiser shootout. Maybe he learned something there and was able to put that car on pole because of it. To his outside, Jude Martinelli, who he had a very fast car at Las Vegas, but with contact on pit road, sent him to the back. He fell a lap down because he had to pit at the end of the race as well. So Martinelli wants redemption, and what better way to go out here and then maybe win at Phoenix. Gabe Willard continues his streak of good qualifying efforts. He started on pole last time out at Las Vegas. He starts 3rd here today for Southern Cross Racing, David Dixon's team. We'll have to see what Gabe can do if he can try and keep the track position, unlike what he was able to do last week at Las Vegas. We mentioned Max Davis, runner-up in the Daytona 500. He ran well at Las Vegas, and it looks like he might be able to run well here today at Phoenix for Vision Motorsports, Matthew Hubert's team. They'll look to go for 2 in a row with one of their drivers, and rounding out the top 5 for Otter Island Motorsports, Benny Watson's team is Laura Chung, who dominated the race at Las Vegas, leading the most laps, but couldn't quite find victory lane. She'll look for redemption here from the 5th starting spot today in the Lenovo 500 at the Phoenix Raceway. As we'll get the cars to roll off, we'll go to our prediction battle. Trey, I'm still behind, and I lost again last week, so we'll go back to it, and I get to pick first again. This week I'm picking the driver starting in 7th, Matt Tuck, who has had a very, very disappointing start to his season. Lost a draft at Daytona, got involved in an accident at Las Vegas, hasn't yet finished on the lead lap in a race this season. I think that changes today with him going to victory lane. Who's your pick, Trey?
I'm going a little bit further behind you, Joe. Last week's winner in that 18, Bryce Egan. I think he's going to go back-to-back here, Joe. I think he's going to ride that momentum all the way to another victory lane spot here.
So we just chose Vision Motorsports here today.
Yeah.
Right? I took this guy, Matt Tuck, starting in 7th, and you're 2 rows behind taking Bryce Egan.
You gotta go with what's hot.
That's true.
What it is.
Yeah, Vision Motorsports, and it's hot here. So you know what? We'll continue with that. Here today, we will have pit stops. We saw them all under the caution flag last time out at Las Vegas. Here today, will we see them under green? Will we get a caution? We'll find out. But the fuel window is 35 to 40 laps in this 63-lap race, and tire fall off will be extreme here. We'll see nearly 2 seconds of fall off if this race stays green and we go a full 35 to 40 lap fuel run. But at the front, as we take the green flag, Jack Haas is on the gas, and we're going in the Lenovo 500 at Phoenix. Oh, look. Zachary DeLello, aggressive to the inside, Matt Tuck. That nearly got Nathan Stapleton involved, and they're 3 wide. This is where they fan out coming off turn number 2 because they were able to make those big moves through the dogleg. And now as they enter into turns 3 and 4, the end with more banking, everyone's trying to get through it well. Is at the front, Jack Haas. He got away massively, leads the first lap from pole position.
Yo, your pick of Tuck almost dumped Stapleton there going into, 3 and 4. They're still shuffling it around a little bit.
Yeah, Bryce Egan went 3 wide. Look at Zidell trying to get a run on the inside. He couldn't quite keep it in the gas. The front few get clear in single file. This is where it's a mess behind. Everyone's trying to fight for the bottom lane because that's the place to be. And with how wide this racetrack is, when you go through the dogleg, they can fan out 3, even 4 wide. As you see right there, they go down to the dogleg trying to get whatever they can, trying to shortcut the course. Then as they go through 1 and 2, coming off 2, you have to try and filter it down to at least 3 wide. If you're 4 wide, that's a trouble spot.
Yeah, and then, I mean, all these cars push up towards the wall, so it's almost like a bottleneck. So when you are 3 and 4 wide in that corner, you can really squeeze up on someone without even, really knowing it. And that's where the issue starts to happen there. So far, these guys are doing a great job as his front few guys are really starting to string out here. As Jack Haas, his lead is still at a distance, but it's starting to close in a little bit there as we got a battle going on for what is this, about 6th, 7th, 8th?
Yep, that's 6th, 7th, and 8th. Riley Spurley, 2, Matt Tuck, and Bryce Egan. 3 of the Fords in the field going at it here as entering into turns 3 and 4. Remember, Spurley Tube runner-up in the Budweiser shootout to his teammate Roberto Crown Jr., so we know Spurley Tube good at a track like a short track, and here he is still fighting with Tuck. The 11's doing a good job hanging tough on the outside, but I think he'll finally concede the spot, and now he'll be in a battle with his teammate Bryce Egan, winner last time at Las Vegas. So Vision Motorsports right now, they've even improved their running positions. Max Davis is in 5th. Matt Tuck is now in 6th. Bryce Egan is in 7th. Those 3 cars, Matthew Hubert has to be very pleased with how it's going. These two, though, still fighting side by side. And that has to make Hubert a little bit nervous, seeing them go at it here for a position early on in this race.
Yeah, I mean, this is the place where you want to do it at the beginning of the race where you can make up most of your spots, especially if it goes on a long green flag run. So these drivers are going to be a little bit more aggressive than they would like to be, but it's all in the terms of setting themselves up for the end of this thing, right? So we're going to have to see how it all unfolds here as we've got Jude Martinelli, Laura Chung, and Max Davis, who is starting to fall back a little bit there.
Yeah, Laura Chung trying to get some redemption from Las Vegas, led a lot of the laps there, but when they took 2 tires, that Otter Island Motorsports car faded, and she could never recover, finished outside the top 10 in that number 79, but she makes a pretty easy work over Jude Martinelli in that Fos Autosport car. As Martinelli trying to come back a little bit at the run, but couldn't quite keep it in the gas, and Chung will keep that 3rd position. Martinelli back to 4th. Max Davis under a little bit of fire in 5th place, with Riley Spurgeon really making a march through the field. He started in 10th place, but has done a great job. He found a way down in line and is now trying to come through the field, but Bryce Egan is going to just get a little bit of the nose to the inside of Spurley Tube and try to get the position made, but just can't quite keep it down there as they come off turn number 2.
Yeah, Bryce Egan's really trying to hook that bottom line, that yellow line in 3 and 4, and try to get that run off. It is working, right? Right now, it is getting him spots right now, but you got to wonder if, later in the run, if that line's going to change to more of a middle ground, kind of like what Laura Chana's running. You see, she's like almost half lane up as Egan's really half a car below that yellow line right now.
Trying to search for all that grip that he can as Matt Tuck gets up to Spurley Tube, but not much closer. Here comes Nathan Stapleton, a big dive to the bottom of that number 75, going for a position on Matt Tuck as well. Tuck kind of missed the bottom of turns 3 and 4, and Stapleton got the run to the inside and is trying to take that 8th spot away from Tuck as they go through turns 1 and 2. A little bit further back here for 10th place. DeLello going at it, trying to keep Jericho behind. Zidell trying to get 11th from that number 54. Then you have Jerry Chen and Joshua Cox there. Chris Jericho trying to get the run into the corner and is going to clear Zidell to get back down in line. Here comes Ludovic Charette. Mathis Wells has had a pretty slow start to the season. Great to see this number 39 for Atlanta Motorsports kind of moving up through the field, currently up in the 17th position, looking for some more, along with Keegan Thompson. And then there's the current points leader, Brian Rodriguez, but currently running in 19th, just getting by Tyler Belladonna. So mid-pack run so far for the points leader, while the guy who's closest to him in points, Bryce Egan, currently rides inside the top 10.
Joe, you don't believe me that this is, if you don't believe that this is a short track, we're already on lap 12.
Yep.
I mean, that was quick.
Yeah, laps do fly by, especially when you keep it under the green flag here. So we're about, pretty close, getting close to pit stops wanting to start. But up front, the battle for the lead is heating up. Gabe Willard has not let Haas get away. See right there, he kind of missed the bottom of turns 3 and 4, so he'll fall back a little bit to that 23. But if he can stay close enough, it looks like Haas might be struggling a little bit as we get laps on these tires, and the long run is just not going for that number 23 at this point. Yeah,
definitely not. And you got to think that if Willard can get up to that, and start battling that 23, it's going to allow these guys behind them to, closing that gap as well. But Jude Martinelli was trying to make a pass on the 79 of Chung, but looks like didn't stick that well, as Bryce Egan looks like he is still slicing his way through this field and trying to make himself get back up to that front for the second week in a row.
He's trying to get up inside the top 5 by his teammate Max Davis, but Davis doing a great job holding position. Oh, what a great run for Willard through turns 1 and 2. Hooked that corner well. Haas got a little high on exit, but is able to just maintain that spot in front of Gabe Willard for now. That was a good corner for Willard. He just couldn't complete the corner, couldn't get off the corner well, and he'll have to still settle in behind Jack Haas for now. We've completed 14 of the 63 laps so far. It's all Jack Haas from pole position, but the pressure has been on all race long. Again, Willard hooks the bottom of turns 1 and 2. Is looking low, but still can't quite get the nose to the inside. That 27 that looks like it's handling a lot better right now.
Yeah, he's just able to get that car to hook halfway through 3 and 4 and really dive to the inside, and almost like you mentioned, get to the quarter panel of the 23. But I don't know if the 23 is blocking a little bit or if he just has that little bit better of an exit that he's able to keep his car in front. So we'll have to see if, maybe a couple laps from now it's going to develop a little bit more.
You're talking about 1 and 2, right? Not 3 and 4?
What? Oh, well, I don't remember, Joe. This is, the old 3 and 4. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not used to it.
It's configured.
We did how many seasons with this track? The other configuration?
A lot. Yep. Yeah. We've used this version very rarely. So yeah, it's not normal for us. But what's normal for Matt Tuck is he's caught. He was back there at Stapleton a few laps ago. But as we get laps on these tires, this 11 car is starting to come alive. And for a driver who is down second to last in points, hasn't finished on the lead lap yet this season, Matt Tuck has to be loving what we see him right now. Currently up inside the top 8, gaining on the front 7. Looks like he has a pretty good car on these old tires.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what maybe if he was kind of aiming his build towards something like this the entire time, or if, he's made some drastic changes and this is the result for them, right? But we'll have to see what he can do. As you mentioned, he is looking faster and faster as these laps continue to tick onto the clock here, as he's trying to make up a move on Riley Spurley tube right now, but can't quite figure out what he wants to do yet.
And out the front of the field, Gabe Willard is starting to fade off of Jack Haas and is getting some pressure from Laura Chung as well. Further back, breaking inside the top 10, Chris Jericho, that's number 54 for Tucson Racing, a name we have not really called much this season, if at all, as he's kind of had a slow start to the season. Didn't get the shuffle right. Daytona finished at the back there. At Las Vegas was just a mid-pack driver all race long, but now he's up inside the top 10 for the first time today. And for a team that is up there in the points battle in terms of the team points, it has to be good for Chris Jericho to finally say, I have a good run going here.
Yeah, definitely. And just behind him, the 36, Jerry Chen, and the 20 of Roberto Crown Jr. Don't count them out yet either, as they seem to be also having long-run cars, as I believe they're closing that gap on the 54 just ever so slightly, as well, they're going to start racing each other, so that gap might just go right back to where it was.
Crown was saying, I want this spot, but these are two drivers that have had pretty impressive starts to the season. Jerry Chen, a runner-up last time out at Las Vegas. Crown Jr. up there in the points as well. He's been very consistent and currently rides up inside the top dozen. Just behind them, it's Crown's teammate Zidell. Joshua Cox for Ace Motorsports and Brett Sierra's team is currently up inside the top 15. Keegan Thompson trying to join teammate Chris Jericho up inside the top 10 as Thompson currently rides in the top 15. Then you have Ludovic Charette, who just blistered her way through the field at Las Vegas lane. That run to get a top 3 finish. Zachary DeLello is starting to fade back a little bit. He was inside the top 10 a few laps ago. They have, as mentioned, Matthews Wells has had a slow start to the season, but currently up inside the top 20, battling with the points leader Brian Rodriguez for a spot. That's for currently 18th and 19th. And just behind the 20th, Lathan Strickland has also had a slow start to the season. He's trying to work his way up through the field. Then just outside the top 20 is Tyler Belladonna, his teammate Cam Wright Jr. They haven't hit each other so far this week, and that's good to see. Then you have Levi Shones, who was running well at Las Vegas, had to pit late in that one. Hernandez involved in a crash at Vegas along with Tim Gary. Noah Brady, the other of the Fitzwater Australia cars. And we look back here, there's two of your guys battling here, Trey, with their mid-pack. Eli Bright fading back. He had a top 20 start, but he is Jacob Miller said, get out of my way. He splits to the middle, and your two cars are the bread on the sandwich there.
Yeah, we're struggling this week, Joe. I don't know what it is. I guess these guys don't like short tracks too much. I don't blame them. I'm a short track guy myself, but to each their own. And you can see that they're definitely out there struggling right now. Essentially, probably wouldn't be surprised at this point, just wishing this race was over.
Yeah, at this point, Eli Bright is saying, I need to get to that pit stop because my car's not handling. You can see right there, he's actually, I think, a little bit mad with Jacob Miller with the 95 did to him. He's going to do it back to him. Put Miller on the outside. Now Eli's going to shoot to the middle.
Well, we're going to have to see how this goes. Please don't damage the car. I appreciate it. I haven't had to spend any money on, body work yet, and I'd like to keep that going.
And the guy that just passed Eli Miller, Ryan Wilson, currently leading the charge for Crispy Fried Racing Ventures, who has had a struggling day here today, as Wilson, the highest one, currently around 30th place. So back here, the OSC racing cars are struggling as well. There's the 57, the leading candidate of that, Chris Keselowski, then Fox, and then there's your last driver, Seaman. Then there's the last OSC driver, and then rounding out the field is the two drivers from Crispy Fried Racing Ventures, Joe Hendry and Johnny Cox. So a difficult day for a few of these teams that are, you have your team back there currently kind of struggling a little bit. Then you have OSC Racing back there really struggling, along with Crispy Fried Racing Ventures, a team that's not struggling. Those Honor Island Motorsports. Here goes Laura Chung for second on Gabe Willard, trying to hold the bottom on the exit of turn 2. The 27 gets a little bit of a run, but the 79 keeps it down low into turns 3 and 4. Just barely keeps the nose down there, but look at the run for Willard.
Yeah, this 27 is showing it is hard to pass right now, and he is still holding that second place strong, but while these guys are battering, it's allowing Jack Haas to really pull himself away and set himself up for pit stops pretty well. He's going to have almost no pressure trying to enter pit road as we look back, and battles are still raging on as these cars get handling worse and worse as the run goes on.
See right there, it's just really hard to hold the bottom off the exit of turn 2. It's so flat down there, but Thompson misses turns 3 and 4, goes about a lane higher than he probably wanted to, and Ludovic Charette got a nice run. This is for 15th and 16th, trying to get inside the top 15 for Ludovic Charette, but once again, just hard to lead the bottom of a corner here with how worn out these tires are, and you can see just how slow they're going through these corners. They're struggling. Well, Chris Jericho made a pass there. That's for 9th place. Oh, not quite.
Oh, not yet. It's not over yet. Nope. Hold on. We'll have to see if the top side gets the run here. No, I think he's going to get it.
Yeah, Chris Jericho did a good job there.
That's it right here.
Yep.
Yep, there it is.
And now you can just send it to the bottom of turn 1 right here. There it is. He's clear. So nice pass for Jericho on these older tires, so the 54 looks good. So does Jerry Chen. Look at that car hugging that yellow line. It's up front. They're still going at it. Max Davis is trying to pass Jude Martinelli. That would be for 4th place. And Gabe Willards goes back in on Jack Haas. So as these tires wear out, we're nearing the midway point of the run, and midway point of the race, and we're about 5 to 10 laps from pit stops. We'll have to see, Trey. This race has stayed green. We're probably going to get green flag pit stops. Is it going to be the overcut or the undercut that works here today?
That's. I never know. I always feel like it's one thing, but it ends up being the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to say, but I feel like anyone in this group right here, Joe, they have a chance if they do it right. They could walk away with the lead, not the win, but the lead. You never know, right? But This is getting very interesting, but I definitely think the ones that could call the shots right. Oh my goodness!
Wow. Gabe Willard just drove it to the bottom of turns 1 and 2. Got inside of Jack Haas. Could we have a lead change around the midway point of this race? Haas has led the first 31 laps. If he leads this next one, he'll clinch up the most laps led bonus point. He will do so. So Jack Haas keeps the lead. He gets the most laps led bonus point, but Gabe Willard has shown that this car is still strong and strong enough to battle with Jack Haas. However, it's been hard to pass that number 23. It's really held everyone up. There's about 2 seconds between the top 8. So as you mentioned, if someone pits by a lap earlier, it's very possible that they could undercut the leader because of that.
Yeah, 100%. I think, anyone, these 3 cars right here, you could possibly even say Jude Martinelli are the ones that are, in the seat to try to undercut our leader right now. But, Joe, that lead is getting bigger and bigger. If they're going to want to do it, they got to do it within the next couple of laps, which is just inside the pit window, essentially, right?
Yep.
But this 23 is starting to pull away, but looks like the 27 might have found a little bit more speed to try to reel him back in.
Yeah, that was weird. He kind of fell off for a lap, but now he's starting to. He cut that gap basically in half now within the span of like half a lap. That was it was crazy. The gap opened up immediately and then it just closed right back in immediately. So I don't know. They're playing some games out there, I think, for sure. But as you mentioned, the pit window's basically open now. So if you want to pit, you can do it. And you make it to the end. The question is, how hard will it be to get on the pit road? It looks like it's easy. But you have no grip out there. You can see with how they're driving. And it's like in the middle of a corner, and you have to get down to the apron of the corner. There's just a lot of things that go over. And then if you miss it, there's pit barrels, and some people try to pit from a lane up. It can become a mess here.
Yeah, we know this place is so hard. This configuration is so hard. We've seen a pit, the pace car hit the end of the pit wall before. So that tells you anything. It's pretty difficult.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Laura Chung and Jude Martinelli. You can see why it's so hard. You're in the middle of the corner. But these people are going to undercut. So Laura Chung, Martinelli, Bryce Egan and Matt Tuck coming together. Jerry Chen, Nathan Stapleton, Joshua Cox is in. So is Belladonna. So is, I think that's DeLello back there. One of your guys, Eli Bright, is in as well. So the cycle has started. The front few have stayed out. The front 2 did. Then Max Davis. Then Riley Spurgeon. We'll see now. Do they pit now? And here they come in.
Spurley Tube staying out. Anyone else going to take the longer route?
Yep. Teammate Zidell.
Couple of them.
Ludovic Charette, Keegan Thompson. So first, back here, this is where it gets interesting. Ooh, the 09 of San Vitale cut down across the track. Nearly caused an incident there. I think one of your drivers, Matthew Burnett, did a heads-up job being able to slow down. I'm sure he's not happy about it, but better that than wreck your car.
That's the involuntary overcut, Joe. That's what that is right there.
Forced to stay out because of other people's decisions. Well, here come the EKH Enterprises cars, and it looks like the rest of the field is coming in. So now, oh my gosh, look at these guys.
They're still all over each other. Oh, that's Laura Chung.
Yep, so now we'll get to see how her undercut works out. She really pulled away from Martinelli and all of them. They had a pretty good stop for Otter Island Motorsports. Now we'll see, can she leapfrog Jack Haas? Oh, I think easily.
Oh, 100%.
Wow.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, this is going to be a big lead.
And these guys are going to undercut as well. Egan
now we'll have to
Martinelli.
see if Egan can clear. He's going to clear pretty well as well. What? That was a weird word.
Oh, Matt Tuck, look at him.
Oh.
He is not happy that Gabe Willard pulled up in front of him coming off pit road, I don't think.
That was a little, get out of my way. I already got the tires to go for it, and you just cut me off.
Yeah, that was, I have forward momentum, and you just kind of pulled up. There's Riley Spurgeon. He's going to have fresher tires now for the end of this race, so watch for that 28. He didn't really lose all that much. He's kind of where he was.
Yeah, he pretty much is around the same guys as you mentioned as where he was, so we'll have to see what these fresher tires can do as Jerry Chen's going to dive to the inside of him. Not quite yet. Didn't get it.
Nope. So Jerry Chen was trying there. He had forward momentum, just couldn't do it. Matt Tuck does get by Gabe Willard to move him up inside the top 5, but it's a 2-second advantage up front for Laura Chung for Otter Island Motorsports in the 79. Can she be the one this week to steal a win away from the driver who led the most laps? We'll have to find out. Remember, she has a little bit worse tires because she did the undercut. Same thing can be said for Martinelli and Egan and Matt Tuck. So will their tires start to wear out a little bit faster? And can Jack Haas and maybe even Riley Spurgeon or Gabe Willard start to come through the field? Only time will tell. The gap stayed about consistent that lap as Bryce Egan tries to hunt down Jude Martinelli past him and then maybe run Laura Chung down.
Yeah, that 2-second gap though, Joe, is absolutely huge in terms of like what that undercut could do for you, right? I mean, I was thinking, it was going to be half a second, maybe a second at most, but double that, right? I mean, that's just an incredible pit stop by Laura Chung and her team, and they'd be able to jump out that far as we're looking 3 wide. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Joshua Cox going to the inside. Jerry Chen going through the middle, putting Raspberry up top. So Chen is going to get the best of that, get through the middle, and clear the 99. Now try and get by the 28 as well. We did have some cars that had some issues on pit road. They've fallen a lap or more down. Keegan Thompson was up inside the top 15. He's down now, 40th lap down. And Robert Ashford and Bruno Giacomo have fallen a few laps down. They had some big issues on pit road, and they're well off 4 laps down, 41st and 42nd. A tough break for them, and they're just out there now hoping they can maybe, if anyone falls out, they can get some spots that way.
Yeah, definitely. But we'll have to see, Joe. Still quite a few laps left in this race. Still plenty of time for stuff to develop here as these drivers are now just getting into the settled position of where their car is starting to handle where they want it to be. And we're going to have to see what all develops as Matt Tuck is going to dive into the inside of Jack Haas, and he might make this one stick.
Yeah, remember, he was starting to come alive a little bit with those older tires, so once the tires started to wear out, that 11 got better than the rest of the field. We'll have to see, though. Holding the bottom of these corners has been tough today. If he maybe shortcuts this, he can stay to the inside of Haas. This is the battle for 4th and 5th on the racetrack. Haas able to keep it for now. Remember, the 23 has a little bit better tires, but Matt Tuck might have a little bit of a better car. He's all over the 23, and again looking to the inside up in front of him. His teammate Bryce Egan is looking inside Jude Martinelli. The 18 can't quite hold it down there. The 11 holds it to the inside of the 23. What great battling here for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Yeah, the only thing this is going to do, though, Joe, is really hurt their tires for this long run, right? I mean, the harder you push your stuff now, the worse it's going to be later on. So, oh, my goodness.
Whew. Okay, Tuck drove it in there, and he took it. He did. That wasn't given. He took that spot.
Did you see? Was that Jack Haas who almost, like, double-guessed himself with the wheel there?
I think so.
Did he jump a little bit?
I think Tuck scared him. I think that's what he did. He drove it in so hard, Haas said, oh, my gosh, there's a car in my side mirror.
Well, the only one liking that is Gabe Willard and Laura Chung. Laura Chung, because she's leading and she knows Jack Haas was was the leader before pit stops, and Gabe Willard because he sees the guy he couldn't pass before pit stop battling really hard, so he might get a chance to get around him this time around. But he's got company out back as well from the 16 of Max Davis.
And Max Davis looks quick, right up to the bumper of Gabe Willard. Couldn't get the exit of 4 all that well. Matt Tuck got the exit. He's looking to the outside of his teammate Bryce Egan.
I didn't know he could pass on the outside.
Yeah, well, we'll see if he can. Maybe if he gets a run here off the corner. Look at Egan. Is he defending?
Maybe a little bit. Joe, those are our picks. Remember that.
Yeah.
So, you know what? It's all right to defend.
Not only our picks, but teammates.
This is I don't know how you want to go about this. As Tuck is going to get to the inside finally, and he's going to send it like he did on Jack Haas. He's trying to. He pretty much did.
He played a little bit nicer, though, that it was a teammate. He didn't. I don't think he scared Bryce Egan as much as he did Jack Haas there.
Not yet, at least. Oh, Jack Haas missed the inside of the corner there, shot up the track. That allowed Gabe Willard to get to the inside and pass him pretty easily, and it's going to allow Max Davis to have a chance as well. But, yeah, it looks like the 23 just missed his marker or something and just shot up the track.
And then he blocked off Max Davis aggressively, and Davis is going to fight to the inside that number 23. This is a stack-up of cars right here as Tuck finally clears for 3rd. Willard, I think, is going to get 4th from Bryce Egan, and here comes Egan's teammate Max Davis. He's hunting on Haas, and then he's going to be hunting on his teammate Egan as well, and who knows, if they stay side by side, he might take it 3 wide here to turn 1.
Looks like he's going to do just that, Joe. He's going to send it on the inside and drop down the 2. Egan knew he was top of 3, decided to back out, which was a smart decision if you ask me. It's going to allow the 16 and the 27 to battle side by side off of turn 2. I got it right. And go down in the 3 and 4, still battling hard side by side.
Look at Matt Tuck. All over Jude Martinelli. That 11 car is fast, and if he can get around this 94 quick, he might have a slight shot to at least make it interesting on Laura Chung. The question is, can he get around the number 94? We know Martinelli's going to be fighting that spot aggressively. You see right there off turn 2. I think Davis, he had a little bit of an issue. Here comes Willard back on him and back to the inside to turns 3 and 4. And same thing happened behind them with Egan and Jack Haas. As one got slow, and here comes the other.
This is intense battling here for the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, the top 10 except for the lead.
Yeah, top 10 except for the lead in 10th place. And even back 10th place is getting interesting. Oh, Willard nearly cleared himself off Max Davis, but back in 10th, Joshua Cox has it, but Nathan Stapleton and Chris Jericho are right there as well. So could get interesting there. But this is just a pack of cars battling each other. I mean, it's for a top 5 spot, so it's great that they're battling this hard for it. But look at that's 4th and 5th side by side, then 6th and 7th, and 8th and 9th. I mean, this is just absolutely outstanding stuff as Tuck is once again trying to fight to the inside of Martinelli. They're only losing ground to Laura Chung. They're in the final 10 laps. There's really no time left. Tuck is going to be in desperation mode into turns 3 and 4 right here, trying to get by this number 94 car.
Yeah, this is definitely, you can tell that these laps are starting to wind down here, and people know that it is go time, and they're giving it essentially all they got, because at this point, Joe, with the 3-second lead, unless something catastrophic happens, I don't know how they're going to make up 3 seconds within less than 10 laps to go.
And Matt Tuck clears Jude Martinelli. He's up to 2nd place now in that number 11 car. Martinelli misses the bottom of 3 and 4, has a bit of a battle with Gabe Willard right there. Max Davis and Bryce Egan, the two teammates, are going at it for 5th and 6th. Jack Haas is still struggling in that 23. Stapleton's moved up inside the top 10. Look at, he's hunting down these guys. They're battling so hard. Stapleton's like, I can maybe get some spots here because these guys are going so. Look at Jerry Cheney just moved Jack Haas.
They are getting aggressive, Joe. What is with these guys today?
They were pent up all week and ready to go. I think there's some aggression being taken out here as Jerry Chen moves Jack Haas aside, gets 7th. Meanwhile, for 3rd, Willard and Martinelli go at it side by side. Davis still can't clear his teammate Bryce Egan, who's now under fire from Jerry Chen. Look at Chen dive to the bottom for Southern Cross Racing.
Wow.
He might get 2 spots in this.
Wow, that was something right there. Jerry Chen is, I don't know if he's going to be making a lot of friends, but Joe, he's making a lot of positions, and I think that's what really matters here, because he is driving very aggressive. I thought he was going to look 3 wide.
I thought he was, and Max Davis pokes to the inside of Martinelli. He's going to get that spot, and welcome into the battle for Nathan Stapleton. He's saying, I can get some more spots as well. Here he comes in that number 75 car is Joshua Cox and Chris Jericho trying to catch up. Remember, Keegan Thompson at the back of this is a lap down. Some issues on pit road, a tough break there, and he's shown that he has a fast car. It's just he's not in the lead lap, can't battle these guys for a position.
Yeah, he's just kind of watching at the moment. As long as he doesn't get involved or cause anything, I think it'll be all right. Oh my goodness, they're close to each other, Joe.
Oh my God! I mean, this.
All right, we're good.
This is just great stuff here to end this race at Phoenix. I know it's not for the lead, and Laura Chung's really pulled away by 3 seconds, but this is quite the battle. And Nathan Stapleton right now in the 75 is, he was outside the top 10, falling back before pit stops. That Otter Island Motorsports team, they did some work on pit road, made the car better. He's going to move to 9th by Jack Haas, maybe even 8th, because Bryce Egan misses the bottom of 3 and 4, and there goes Stapleton by him. So 4 laps to go. Otter Island Motorsports has to be loving it. Benny Watson is hoping to see that white flag and to get this race over with as Stapleton's moved up inside the top 10. Maybe has some more spots because Martinelli's starting to fade off in that number 94 car. And Jack Haas, after all that leading, might lose the top 10. He's back to 10th, and Joshua Cox and Chris Jericho and Crowd Jr. are right there, but now he's going to look low on Egan.
Yeah, so I don't know what they did to the 23, Joe, but they made the wrong adjustment, the wrong direction, because he went from essentially dominating the first half to not even getting the sniff, the lead in the second half, right? Not even getting a sniff, what, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th place?
Yep. Yeah, it's unfortunate for Haas. Luckily, he made that pass on Egan. He's able to keep the top 10 for now. He's in 9th and should be able to hold on. This is a great battle for 7th and 8th. Stapleton trying to go around the outside of the spread with 2 laps to go. For Matt Tuck, he's really cutting into Laura Chung's lead. The unfortunate part is that this race is all but over. It's down to 2.3 seconds. It was 3 seconds, but I think Laura Chung's just out there riding. And that's number 79, trying to make it to the white flag as Gabe Willard and Max Davis could go at it for 3rd at the end of this race. But up at the front, all alone is Laura Chung. Here she comes off turn 4, and the white flag is in the air one more time around Phoenix.
You know, Joe, honestly, at this point, she's probably forgotten there's other cars out there, right? I mean, she's been on a desert of her own ever since she left the pit stall.
That's very true. Laura Chung has been up in front since pit stop. She did the undercut, and it worked out to perfection. Benny Watson's team, Honor Island Motorsports, down the back straightaway. They dominated. They led the first 2 races with the most laps. Here today, they didn't lead the most laps, but they're going to be the ones to steal victory. Laura Chung with redemption from Vegas wins at Phoenix. Second to Tuck, third to Willard, and then the rest of the top 10 comes across in a fight. What a day. What a drive for Laura Chung. Redemption from last week where she led the most laps but faded off late. Here today, she's the one to steal the victory.
That was a race for the top 10. Laura Chung drove away with it, but everyone else that was a race.
Yeah, if they could have sold that out for a second, right? Laura Chung, remember, she did the undercut, so she had a little bit worse tires. And you saw it there at the end. Matt Tuck, he took out a second of that lead in the final 3 or 4 laps. He was fast. It's just he had to spend so much energy from the tires on battling everyone that he just didn't have enough at the end to catch up.
Yeah, I mean, that just goes to show you how important, trying to get out of the pit stop and pit stall in clean air with no one around you is so important. Tuck came out in the middle of, you remember, he pushed Gabe Willard, essentially, right? Because he pulled up right in front of him, and he had to battle his way all the way up to second. And like you said, once he got out into that clean stuff, he did eat away a second of that gap, but it was just too little too late.
Yeah, he cut that gap down from 3 seconds to 2 seconds. So he was fast. The unfortunate part, as you mentioned, is just he had to fight with all those guys, and they weren't just going to lay over, right? Those are spots, those are points that everyone wants. So they were all fighting very hard, and it created a very entertaining race here at the end, and a very jumbled up top 10 from what we saw. It was pretty much the same people from what we did see at the first stage of the race, but kind of got jumbled up there as we went later on, and we saw guys able to make moves after those pit stops. It's a very entertaining second run of this race as we'll go take a look at the finishing results. And here's how they finished in the Lenovo 500 at the Phoenix Raceway. Laura Chung, the dominator in the second half of this race. She got out front, never looked back. She ends up winning this race by 2 seconds. Matt Tuck was the show at the end of that one. Ends up in second place and really made some big moves to get up to that runner-up position. And just something that he needed to really help his quest towards the championship, having not finished on the lead lap in the first 2 races this season. Gabe Willard was able to keep that track position to end up in third. Max Davis, another one of the Vision Motorsports cars, in fourth, and a top 5 for Jerry Chen. That's back-to-back for that number 36 driver. And for Southern Cross Motorsports, really a good day of Southern Cross racing. Gabe Willard third, and Jerry Chen in 5th place. They'll definitely take that. Drew Martinelli ends up in 6th place. Octavian Speeds has to be pleased with that. Kept that track position all race long. Riley Spurtube moved up at the end to finish in 7th for EKH Enterprises. Then Nathan Stapleton, the other, or second of the Otter Island cars, in 8th. Jack Haas in 9th, and Bryce Egan with the top 10. So all 3 Vision Motorsports cars, top 10s. That's going to help them in the team standings. We look down. Joshua Cox played good pit strategy to end up in 11th. Chris Jericho, definitely his best race of the season, in 12th. Crown Jr. with another solid run, top 15. That's going to help him in points move up a little bit. Brian Rodriguez will lose the points lead, but not by much. Still a top 15 day for that number 62. Mathis Wells, his best run of the season, in 15th. Then we look down. Charette and Belladonna, Strickland, Zidell, and Anthony Hernandez with top 20s here today. Zachary DeLello faded at the end at 21st. Sam Vitale had a close call entering pit road with Matthew Burnett. They end up 23rd and 25th. Eli Bryant 26th. Philip Torres, the third of the Otter Island cars, ends up finishing this one in 28th. And then Cam Wright Jr. and Ryan Wilson round out the top 30. Jordan Stout, his first struggling day of the season, ends up in 32nd. The Crispy Fried Racing Venture cars didn't do all that well. Joe Hendry in 33rd. Johnny Cox in 38th. Chris Keselowski, last car in the lead lap, in 39th. Keegan Thompson, 1 lap down in 40th. And the cars with major issues on pit road include Ashford and Diacomo. They finished 41st and 42nd here today. We take a look at the points, 3 races in. New points leader, it's Bryce Egan, winner at Las Vegas. He's finished inside the top 10 in all 3 races. He's the points leader by a slim 3-point margin over Brian Rodriguez. Max Davis still hanging within 10 points in 3rd. Jerry Chen, his very solid start to the season, has him in 4th, and Laura Chung with the win bumps up to the top 5. Then Crown Jr., Charette, Spurley, Stout, and Haas round out the top 10 in points. They are currently drivers in the top 10 in terms of the chase positions. 2 wildcard spots would go to the drivers 2 highest in points outside the top 10, because all of our winners are inside the top 5 in points. So Zidell and Willard right now currently have those 2 wildcard spots, but Burnett's still there, so is Seaman. Jude Martinelli, Nathan Stipton has climbed up. Johnny Cox trying to hang on along with Ryan Wilson, his teammate. Then Philip Torres and Tyler Belladonna currently hanging inside the top 20. And now we look at the team points. After 3 races, Vision Motorsports with all 3 cars inside the top 10 move into the points lead, but EK Enterprises is right there. So is Otter Island Motorsports, and Toussaint Racing and Southern Cross Racing round out the top 5, and on down to the top 10. It's Me Motorsports, Fos Autosport, Crispy Fried Racing Ventures, Galway Automotive, and Ace Motorsports. And the teams that have struggled to start out this season are Fitzwater Australia Racing, Red Lightning Racing, Atlanta Motorsports, and OSC Racing down at the bottom. So Trey, final thoughts from Phoenix, and a redemption day for Otter Island Motorsports and Laura Chung.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it went from heartbreak, like you mentioned last race, to most laps led, to not winning the race, to this one having, being in contention essentially from the drop of the green flag, to being a fantastic pit stop, to 3 seconds out, and then the margin of victory was 2 seconds. So I mean, after they made some adjustments, Joe, it was an absolute domination performance, and that battle for inside the top 10 was pretty fun to watch as well.
Yeah, that's gonna be a battle that goes down for the ages, right? I think all those drivers, they might be angry with each other, but it was a fun one to watch up here in the commentating booth, and we should have a fun one the next 2 weeks. We're going out next week on Monday to the Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth, Texas. That'll be a fun one, the Samsung 400. And then in 2 weeks' time, it's the Texas Two-Step. We're going racing at Texas World just after Texas. That'll be fun. We go to the 1/2 mile oval, and then the High Bank 2 mile, basically super speedway out in College Station. So that'll be fun the next 2 times out on JRTV. Today, though, it's all about Laura Chung, Benny Watson, and Otter Island Motorsports claiming their first victory of the 2025 season. Congratulations to the whole 79 team on a great performance here in Phoenix. For Trey Barton, I'm Joe Rakowski. So long from JRTV, but tune in next Monday right here for the race from Texas.